Bear down, Wildcats fans. Wildcats Radio 1290 is proud to bring you all of the football insights from our Arizona insiders. Our Arizona insiders are brought to you by Modelo, brewed for full-time Cats fans. Modelo, an official corporate sponsor of Arizona Athletics.
And this Arizona Insider segment every Tuesday known as Wildcat Breakdown, breaking down Arizona football after a 48-3 win over the Weber State Wildcats. Pleased to be joined by my guy, Glenn Howell. You have a football class of 1985. And Glenn, getting excited for obviously a game that's coming up this Friday night against Kansas State, second set of Purple Cats. But a great performance by the offense after maybe a little bit of an uneven outing in the first game against Hawaii. And for me, it started with the very first play of the game, where Noah hit Javen Watley, Nunu, on a little bit of a slant route. And I just thought it was so important, and we talked about it Saturday night or early Sunday morning, as it actually turned out to be, that you really needed to start to get him the confidence. You didn't want him coming into this Kansas State game not feeling good about himself. And I thought they gave him a play right off the bat, a little slant route, linebacker blitzed. Noah read that. Safety stayed high, and he hit Nunu across the middle, putting the ball in one of his speed receivers' hands with space for him to run after the catch, and we saw that he has the ability to do that.
Absolutely. Yeah, we talked about that on the pregame show. Is one of my keys was to have Noah to be able to throw the ball where the receiver can catch the ball and run, and not just stop and then have to make a move or anything, but just to continue to run. And that's when you know when your quarterback and your receivers are on the same page. And if you can do that and we can continue that, he has to do a big step forward again this week during practice and being able to do that, because Kansas State, we're going to see a little different kind of a player there than we have in the first two games.
Yeah, when you look at, obviously, we saw the emergence of Javen Watley. He's a transfer in here. First opportunity for him to perform. 5 catches for 166 yards. Had a couple of touchdowns early on those first 2 drives. And Glenn, it was really kind of easy for him because he really wasn't doing anything but the first touchdown, he literally just ran right by the guy. The defensive back just kind of let him go. And in the second one, there was a little bit of contact there about 10 yards into the route, and he was able to shake off the guy, get by him again, and Noah hit him with perfect balls on both those passes.
Yeah, I think that was that DB was, or I think it was the linebacker, just trying to get him off of his route, just to make sure, because all you need to do is to get him off of just a little bit off their route. The timing is just messed up. So then that gives the people in the back and the back end to be able to adjust. And if you just get him off that route a little bit, and he continued on that route and went straight to the post, and there was a perfect throw from Noah, and thought he should have thrown it a little bit earlier, but it was a great throw, and it was a touchdown.
Well, and like he said, Brennan said after the ball game, hey, he hit guys in stride. That's what you want. You want him to hit those guys in stride. I've not seen him necessarily underthrow a lot of balls, which is good, because that was one of the things that last year coming in, I thought I was wondering, I wasn't really sure how good Noah Fafita was going to be in throwing the deep ball, but I think he showed a much stronger arm, at least to start this season. At times, maybe he could have taken a little bit off some of those throws. Like he had an opportunity in both games. He's had an opportunity to hit Gio Richardson on a deep ball and just maybe thrown it a little bit too much, but he's showing the strength, I think, definitely in that arm through the first 2 games.
Yeah, I've never questioned Noah's arm strength. I think he proved that when the last couple of years, he has the arm strength to throw the ball on a dime, on an out, and he can throw it deep, as far as 60 yards in the air. So I think he's got great arm strength, and I thought he's gotten a little bit stronger on his outs, throwing the ball. So I think that's on his off-season strength and conditioning, and gotten stronger, because you got to understand, strength and conditioning guys, they also try to get the quarterback to have stronger arms, working on their shoulders and things like that, and how they can slow the arm down, working on the posterior chain and everything on these guys. So it's real important that these strength coaches get their quarterbacks to have stronger arms, and I think they've succeeded in doing that.
It's Wildcat Breakdown. We're with Glenn Howell. He's your Arizona insider on this Tuesday. It's brought to you by Modelo, brewed for full-time Cats fans and official corporate partner of Arizona Athletics, Modelo. Wildcats, Glenn, ran the ball for 153 yards. Maybe it was not as impressive as the first game in terms of running the football, but one of the things we did also talk about on the pregame show was we wanted to maybe see the running backs a little bit more involved in the passing game, and we saw that in this game. You had a screen pass touchdown to Ishmael Mahdi. You had a big late screen to the walk-on Anthony Wilhite out of South Point Catholic that went for 22 yards, and you also had Wesley Yarbrough, although his didn't go for many yards, he was able to get the ball on the outside. So good to see the running backs involved a little bit more in the passing game this past week than they were in week one.
Yeah, and I think that's going to happen even more because I don't think Seth wanted to show all his cards yet. I think there's some other stuff, and I think they're probably going to see some tight end screens too. I think that you're going to see that too. So I don't think that you're going to see some bubbles and things like that. But I don't think they wanted to give their whole array of plays these first two games. But now I think they're going to bring it out, and they have to be able to execute this week. This week is about, I think, the theme should be execution, because we cannot afford not to execute against a team like this, because possessions are going to be very, very important for this game this week.
Glenn, I think that one of the offensive alignments we did not see in week one, we saw in fall camp at the beginning, was that kind of three receiver set alignment where you've got Kean Burnett in there as one of the receivers, kind of that stacked alignment. We saw that a lot early in fall camp before Kean got hurt. And then after that, we didn't really see them use that set much with the rest of the tight ends. But I thought that was a key set in getting Luke Weissong going, because he was able to kind of almost hide in that set and get out into the open on some outs that allowed Noah to hit him, as a result, 3 times for 63 yards.
Yeah, well, I think Kean is back in, so he's ready to go. I think that's going to open it up, and I really like Weissong, man. I really do. I mean, not only did I like his his dad, when we interviewed him, but I like Luke. I never met Luke, but I think I just love his intensity of breaking out of the route. And if we can get him on while he's running and breaking out of his route, he's going to be getting some yak, some yak. And I think he's going to be a big factor coming these next couple of games.
There's no question about that. Brandon Phelps also got his first touchdown pass. I mean, going back and looking at the tape, Glenn, there was actually 3 plays. Brandon Phelps could have had 3 touchdowns in that game, because he was open in the back corner of the end zone on the play that Noah dumped down for the touchdown to Trey Spivey. Which was the right decision in that. Yeah. It was almost like he learned from week one, where he tried to throw. He didn't take the dump down route and threw it into triple coverage to Trey Spivey in week one, but in week 2, it's like, okay, I've got the lower level route. Let me take this route, and Trey had plenty of room to run and get the touchdown. Brandon Phelps was open on that play as well. And then there was another play earlier in the second quarter, almost the exact same route that Phelps scored on in the second half. He was open on a little bit of a slant route in the end zone, but that was the play where Noah kind of scrambled his way into a holding penalty. They called holding on Michael Wooten, but not only did he have Brandon open on that play, but he also
He had the tight end.
He had Kean coming off because Kean actually blocked and then came across the middle, and he also had Weissong because Weissong's guy fell down. So he had like three different. I looked back at that play. I was like, man, because the Wildcats ended up kicking a field goal there when they could have had. I mean, he had 3 opportunities to get a touchdown, but he got off of his point. There was a blitzer early in that play that kind of got him off of his point, and he just never was ever really able to recover off that play.
You know, and you know the thing is, you know, we can always look at it afterwards.
Yeah,
and be the Sunday morning quarterback. But sometimes when all the stuff is coming, you know, because if you look at that formation on the defense, they were moving all around.
Yeah.
Okay. And so it's kind of hard to sometimes to pick up those guys because they did that because they were moving so much, that can throw off the quarterback's read. So I think it worked that time, but you got to get a little bit better and understand and be a little bit calmer and wait a little bit, and maybe he can make that throw.
It is Wildcat Breakdown with Glenn Howell. We'll dive into the defense and the special teams, hand out some game balls when we come back. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Much more coming up for you straight ahead. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
From the Auto Nation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Major collision occurred at Mission and 36th Street and Mission. That's involving a pedestrian-struck intersection closed. Travel being diverted away from Mission and 36th Street, and a lot of backups in the area. Just south of that crash was another collision that occurred on Mission to the north of Irvington with some southbound slowing there. 78 the low, 103 sunny tomorrow, and 100 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Rooter Ranger 24/7 Plumbing, Sewer, and Drains. For fast, affordable plumbing and emergency drain services, call Rooter Ranger and get out of plumbing danger. RooterRanger.com.
888-7-RANGER. Get you out of plumbing danger.
So hot. Hi, can I help you?
Good afternoon. We're with Goodfellas AC Rapid Response Team.
But I didn't call yet.
That's how fast we are, man.
Just as I thought, this AC is out.
No, we're not gonna lose it. Come on. Don't you die on me.
Johnson, get a hold of yourself. Sorry, we take this very seriously.
Wow, you fellas are good.
It's not just a name, ma'am.
It's who we are kind of thing.
Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making